You see, the British had controlled Iranian oil from the beginning of the 20th century. Though Iran was supposed to receive 15% of all profits, the British would never permit the Iranians to see or audit the financial records. Mossadegh was so audacious as to believe that Iranians should reap the benefits of Iran's oil. Interestingly, though a Muslim, Mossadegh believed in the Western model of a secular government. So the Brits asked the CIA to oust the democratically elected leader of Iran and install a shill. You know, someone who would be London and Washington's little bitch. The CIA agreed and Mossadegh was overthrown, and the Shah, whose royal prerogatives had been severely curtailed as democracy grew in Iran, was restored to complete control of Iran. Shortly thereafter, deals were made that put the lion's share of Iranian oil profits under U.S. and British control. What a shock. The U.S. then provided massive funding to the Shah's military and secret police. Many of Mossadegh's political allies were arrested, tortured, and some were even executed, all on Uncle Sam's dime. And let's not mince words here. The Shah was Washington's sock puppet. Of course, we know how that ended. In 1979, those who wanted the Iranian government to be in charge of Iran rather than the U.S. succeeded in overthrowing the Shah, and Iran became a Muslim theocracy. So, let me ask you a question. If the people of a Muslim country democratically elected a national leader who believed in a secular government and is what Americans might today call a moderate, and then the United States government overthrows the guy and returns complete power to a dictator with a violent secret police, what type of government do you think the people of that nation might put in place next? If you said hardliners, you'd be right, and that's exactly what they did in 1979, and it has been that way ever since. Kind of makes you think of something like this, doesn't it? Now we come to the Iran nuke deal, which is the real subject of this video. A lot of people are screaming that it's a bad deal. It may or may not be a bad deal, but 99% of the people screaming that have little, if any, idea what the actual terms of the agreement are. What the terms actually are is not the subject of this video. I'd like to discuss with you what this agreement really is, not what you've been told it is. You've been told the purpose of the agreement is to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. How can I put this delicately? That's bullshit. This agreement essentially welcomes Iran into the community of countries with nuclear weapons. That is the true purpose of the agreement. Though no one really knows if Iran has been able to produce nuclear weapons yet, this agreement presumes that if Iran doesn't already have such weapons, it will in the next few years. The EU and the US have imposed stranglehold sanctions against Iran and many of its wealthiest citizens for decades now. We hear a lot about Iran violating its agreements, but Iran doesn't see it that way. The non-US controlled government Iran is not a signatory to the UN Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Sure, the Shah signed it, but I don't think any rational person imagines the signature of Washington's sock puppet could, should, or would bind the current Iranian government. Iran has entered into small incremental agreements with some of the countries that have seized Iranian assets for the purpose of getting their assets released. But think of it from the Iranian point of view. Those assets have been illegally stolen by those governments. Those governments seized Iran's assets for no better reason than to blackmail Iran into capitulation. And it hasn't worked. Why would Iran feel honor-bound to honor agreements made with blackmailers? I know I wouldn't feel ethically bound to honor an agreement I made with a blackmailer. So if Iran is going to possess nuclear weapons, which I believe is inevitable, would you want to be the countries illegally holding Iran's assets in blatant blackmail when those nuclear weapons become operational? How about a suitcase nuke in Dallas? Maybe one in London? Or perhaps an airliner detonates an onboard nuke as it flies over Paris? That